This 2013 documentary left me utterly astonished. You'd never imagine how incredible an expert wildlife photographer can be. He handles wild cheetahs as effortlessly as if they were kittens, lifting them with one hand. A lioness merely glanced at him, only to be chased for over a mile by this audacious man. This is the daily life of the fearless photographer, Kim Walhooter. Being followed by African hyenas is just part of his routine, but he knows how to handle it. A simple scratch turns them into affectionate creatures. During his time on the savannah, Kim has not only assisted zebras, but also faced off against rhinos, the so-called tanks of the land. While wild animals shouldn't harm photographers, an irritable rhino doesn't care about rules, but it forgot that humans make the rules. Close-up shots of lions are a piece of cake for Kim, earning him the nickname, the man with the AK photography team from netizens otherwise. Why would these lions be so wary? Photographing social animals is relatively easy. Even massive elephants aren't a problem. But this time, Kim aims to capture a more elusive creature, known as the Flash of the Savannah, the fastest animal on Earth. Capable of reaching speeds up to 110 kilometers per hour. Once targeted by a cheetah, escaping on foot is nearly impossible. Cheetahs are notoriously elusive, making tracking them a significant challenge. However, Kim never shies away from challenges. After days of effort, he finally finds the perfect subject, a young female cheetah named Maya. To gain Maya's trust, Kim employs his unique approach, persistently staying close to her like a persistent fly. Maya, annoyed, tries to escape but finds him even harder to shake off than wild dogs. This continues for 6 months until Maya finally relents. Realizing this human means no harm, just an odd, persistent follower. Now she's completely at ease with Kim nearby, even sleeping soundly in his presence. One day Maya encounters a handsome young male cheetah. The two are instantly smitten, sparks flying between them. As for how those sparks ignited, I can't say Kim missed that shot. The following spring, 5 adorable cubs make their debut, and Maya becomes a mother. But it's Kim who's the most excited, feeling like a proud father. Seeing the fluffy cubs, a bold idea takes root in Kim's mind. He decides to capture close-up shots of the little ones. However, mother cheetahs are highly protective during nursing. Any creature approaching the cubs risks facing her fierce defense. Kim had long come to terms with life and death, so he grabbed his camera and ventured into dangerous territory, a move that could easily provoke Maya. As expected, Maya tensed up immediately, but upon realizing it was Kim, she relaxed, as if thinking, oh, it's just him again. Whatever. Clearly she'd grown accustomed to this persistent follower. This put Kim at ease, and he casually lay down on the ground. The cheetah cubs were full of curiosity about Kim. Having never seen a human before, they all eagerly approached him. Maya continued to lie quietly, watching. Seeing their mother unbothered, the cubs became bolder. The first to come forward was Solo, the eldest of the 5 and Maya's only son. He seemed to like Kim's scent, climbing onto him and sniffing around. Then, he began to interact closely with Kim. The scene resembled a house cat licking your fingers. Not stopping there, Solo transformed into a little masseur, enthusiastically licking Kim's toes. Kim was astonished by this tiny therapist. It was unbelievable and completely against the laws of nature. The cheetah family didn't seem to consider Kim an outsider. So, Kim decided to stay for the next 18 months to witness these adorable cubs grow up. However, the journey of growing up for cheetah cubs is fraught with challenges. 80% of them don't survive past 6 months. Kim could only hope that this little family would overcome the odds. To integrate into the cheetahs' lives, Kim summarized several key points. First, he avoided direct eye contact as it could make them feel threatened. Second, he occasionally ate some grass to pretend he was a harmless herbivore. Third, he made sure not to foolishly stare at their bodies, otherwise they would emit a low growl to show displeasure. Lastly, he made some sounds from time to time to let them know he was alive. Those who've been bitten by cheetahs know that these methods are indeed effective. Tracking the fastest animals on Earth requires excellent physical fitness. To prepare, Kim chose to train by running during the hottest part of the day when predators are less active. He also never wore shoes in the wild, believing that running barefoot brings him closer to nature after all. Cheetahs don't wear shoes when they hunt. For lightweight cheetahs, the neighbors are formidable. Leopards and baboons are deadly threats. Given the chance, they won't hesitate to kill cheetah cubs, but the most dangerous are lions. These powerful kings of the savannah are the biggest obstacles Maya faces in raising her cubs. One day, Maya suddenly appeared very anxious, constantly scanning her surroundings as if a dangerous presence was approaching. Noticing Maya's unusual behavior, Kim's nerves also tightened, and the cubs were so tense they barely dared to breathe. Kim focused his gaze and saw a lioness nearby, watching intently. If the lioness launched a surprise attack now, Maya might escape easily, but Kim and the cheetah cubs would be in grave danger. At this critical moment, Kim made a bold decision. Disregarding his own safety, he grabbed his camera and charged forward. Although photographers typically adhere to the rule of not interfering with nature, Kim couldn't stand by. He had come to see Maya's family as his own. His unwavering determination actually intimidated the lioness, causing her to retreat. The cheetah cubs seized the opportunity to climb up into the trees for safety. However, the lioness wasn't ready to give up. She continued to watch the cubs from a distance, seemingly intent on eliminating future competitors. To make matters worse, the cunning lioness brought in an alien adolescent male lion. At this point, Kim felt at a loss, and even Maya realized the gravity of the situation. If more lions arrived, her cubs would be doomed. Understanding that she couldn't remain passive, Maya knew she had to take the initiative. Confronting lions head-on was undoubtedly unwise, but as a mother, she had no other choice. Fearing that Maya might be outnumbered, Kim immediately followed her. As the cubs searched for hiding spots, Maya and Kim launched their charge. Unexpectedly, their bluff worked, and they managed to scare off the two lions. The lions likely never imagined that a cheetah and a human would form such an unconventional alliance. Had the lions been more confident, they might have overpowered the cheetah family that night. Once the danger had passed, Maya promptly called for her cubs. After surviving this ordeal, the cheetah family was finally reunited. Perhaps at that moment, Maya regarded the persistent stalker as a trustworthy ally. However, the lioness's mischief wasn't over yet. Taking advantage of Kim's distraction, she managed to snatch one of his cameras, leading to a humorous scene. Transforming into an impromptu photographer, she seemed to engage in a selfie session, even adjusting the camera angle at one point. After running several hundred meters, the lioness finally released the unfortunate camera. Although the 5 cheetah cubs survived this ordeal, the harsh savanna is never short of dangers. Statistics show that cheetahs have a hunting success rate of around 58%. However, Maya possesses exceptional hunting skills, managing to catch an antelope nearly every 2 days. The cubs seem to treat the carcasses as toys, often jumping and playing on them. Since they are still nursing, their interest in meat is minimal. Yet, they are quite playful, constantly engaging in mock fights or looking for trouble. Only one cub stays close to its mother at all times. Her name is Anna, the youngest and most docile among her sisters. After dinner, Maya grooms her babies by licking their fur, which is akin to giving them a bath. This ritual strengthens the bond between mother and cubs. After their bath, the energetic little ones insist on playing bedtime games, climbing all over their exhausted mother without considering her fatigue. Suddenly, a roar shatters this peaceful scene. A pride of lions has intruded into Maya's territory, their continuous growls indicating hostile intentions. Since cheetahs are not adept at nighttime activities, Maya can only hide her cubs in the bushes, praying that the lions won't find them. However, tragedy strikes. The next morning, when Kim returns, he finds Maya perched high in a tree, anxiously searching for something. Soon, Kim realizes that only 4 of the 5 cubs remain. One is missing. Maya frantically calls out, and Kim immediately joins the search. Despite searching all day, they find no trace of the missing cub. It's likely that the cub was discovered and killed by the lions. Eventually, Maya has to give up. She doesn't have time to grieve, as she still has 4 hungry cubs to care for. As the cubs grow, Maya hunts more frequently. To avoid alerting her prey, this seasoned huntress uses the tall grass to conceal herself, locking her gaze on an impala ahead before sprinting towards it. At full speed, Maya resembles a sports car, accelerating to 100 kilometers per hour in just 3 seconds. To achieve such speed, cheetahs have evolved long, slender limbs, but have lost the retractable claws typical of larger felines. Their only weapons are their teeth, so capturing prey larger than themselves often requires more time and effort. Unlike leopards, cheetahs can't drag their kills into trees, making them more susceptible to scavengers like hyenas or lions stealing their food. Fortunately, Kim has befriended the local hyenas. Knowing that Maya's family is under Kim's protection, the hyenas rarely cause trouble. Among the cheetah cubs, Kim's favorite was Solo, a lively and adorable little one who often sought out Kim to play. Solo seemed particularly fond of Kim's smelly feet, finding the pungent scent irresistible. Since the cubs' birth, Kim had spent nearly every day with them. To the cheetah family, Kim had become a guardian figure. At 3 months old, Maya began training her cubs in essential survival skills. She would take them along on hunts, allowing them to observe and learn. On one occasion, Maya caught a young antelope but didn't kill it immediately, using it as a teaching tool for the cubs. The antelope tried to escape, but alert Solo quickly pounced and subdued it. The cubs were beginning to show their hunting instincts, though their techniques were unrefined. Instead of targeting the neck to suffocate the prey, they bit at its hindquarters or ears, treating it more like a chew toy. Maya watched without intervening, understanding that some lessons must be learned through experience. After more than an hour, the cubs finally managed to kill the antelope. During this critical growth period, each cub needed to consume about 1 kilogram of fresh meat daily. Maya could rest only 2 hours a day, spending the rest of her time hunting to provide for them. Despite the challenges of raising 4 cubs simultaneously, nothing brought her more joy than seeing them grow up healthy. However, unforeseen events disrupted their peaceful routine. One day, Kim noticed that Solo was missing, the cub who loved playing with him the most. Panic-stricken, Kim searched a 2-kilometer radius but found no trace of Solo. Maya appeared unusually anxious, and the remaining cubs were uncharacteristically quiet, no longer engaging in their usual playful antics. A sense of dread filled Kim as he discovered that Maya's recent kill had its bones crushed, something cheetahs couldn't do, indicating the presence of another predator. Eventually, Kim found Solo's remains under a tree, the small body torn apart. Heartbroken, Kim realized that the little companion who loved licking his feet was gone forever. Based on the evidence, Kim concluded that a leopard was responsible, killing Solo not for food, but to eliminate future competition. Within just 1 month, Maya had lost 2 cubs. Cheetah cubs have minimal ability to protect themselves before reaching 6 months of age. Observing these adorable youngsters, Kim's face was filled with concern. At this stage, they weighed less than 20 pounds, only slightly larger than a typical house cat. Any encounter with another predator would leave them with little chance of survival. Yet, the harsh reality of nature's survival of the fittest meant that all Kim could do was silently hope for their safety. Unfortunately, fears often materialize. One morning, as Kim went to check on the cheetah family, he discovered that the smallest cub, Anna, had suffered an injury. The previous night, she had been attacked by a baboon, resulting in a large wound on her shoulder. The little one sat alone on the savannah, evidently separated from her family. She continuously called out for her mother, but received no response, as Maya had already moved on with the other 2 sisters. Determined to reunite with her mother, Anna attempted to follow, but each step was accompanied by intense pain, quickly exhausting her strength. To make matters worse, a swarm of ants began crawling over her, biting relentlessly. If this continued, she risked being overwhelmed by the ants. Kim faced a dilemma: should he intervene in the natural course of events? Ultimately, he decided he couldn't stand by and watch the young cub perish. He had to save her. Although Anna's wound wasn't immediately life-threatening, in the sweltering heat of summer, an untreated injury could easily become infected and lead to death. Perhaps due to the absence of her mother, Anna trembled with fear, which deeply saddened Kim. He also realized a harsh truth: mother cheetahs often abandon injured cubs to focus on the healthy ones. Unaware of her abandonment, poor Anna continued to hope for her mother's return. To prevent Anna's condition from worsening, Kim tried to guide her to a shaded area. However, the severe pain made each step agonizingly difficult for the little cub. As her pain pushed her to the brink of collapse, Kim did his best to keep her hydrated and conscious. Fortunately, Kim's wife arrived with a veterinarian who sutured Anna's wound, finally ensuring her safety. Just then, familiar figures appeared. Maya had returned with the other cubs. No mother wishes to abandon her child easily. She cautiously approached and quietly stayed by her daughter's side. At that moment, under anesthesia, Anna was asleep. Kim needed to administer an antidote to wake her, but this action startled Maya, causing her to flee. This impulsive move might have jeopardized the hard-earned trust between Kim and Maya. Indeed, Maya left with the other cubs without looking back, abandoning her injured daughter once more. Half an hour later, Anna awoke. Smelling her mother's scent, she began calling out incessantly. However, Maya had already taken the other cubs far away. Realizing his mistake, Kim watched Anna with a face full of remorse. This little one hadn't yet learned to hunt and, without her mother's protection, would likely starve even if she avoided other predators. Determined to make amends, Kim decided to act. He gently grasped the scruff of Anna's neck, much like picking up a house cat. To reunite her with Maya, Kim planned to wrap her in his sleeping bag. However, Anna wasn't a domestic kitten. She began to struggle fiercely, leaving Kim scratched and injured. Kim, being a tough guy, endured the scratches without a word. Once inside the sleeping bag, Anna calmed down. Without delay, Kim started his old 1982 car. After a half-hour drive, he spotted Maya. But would she accept the daughter she'd abandoned twice? No one knew, and Kim was extremely anxious. Fortunately, Maya welcomed the injured Anna, gently licking her wounds, rekindling their mother-daughter bond. Kim was thrilled. Despite the scratches Anna gave him, he felt it was all worthwhile. He hadn't lost Maya's trust and could now peacefully interact with the cubs again. However, Kim was unaware that his actions sparked significant controversy at the time, with many accusing him of violating natural laws. Over the past century, human activities have led to habitat destruction and poaching, causing the global cheetah population to plummet by 90%. This alarming statistic suggests that non-intervention might be even more cruel. If humans can be destroyers, why can't they be restorers? Clearly, Kim chose the latter. With wild cheetah survival rates below 20%, he hoped his efforts would help the 3 cubs reach adulthood. Yet, fate didn't favor this small family. At 7 months old, another cub faced death. Severe lung infection caused her nose and mouth to bleed continuously. Maya was filled with anxiety and despair. Kim noticed Maya's eyes seemed to plead for help, but he was powerless in this situation. The cub's fate was sealed. Maya stayed by her daughter's side, encouraging her to stand, but the little one couldn't. That day, Maya experienced the pain of losing a child for the third time. The once happy family of 6 was now halved. Despite Kim's efforts to save this endangered species, he ultimately couldn't change anything. Breaking the cheetah's low survival rate curse requires more than just his strength. Now, only 2 daughters remain by Maya's side. Fortunately, both are in good health. The sisters still enjoy playful tussles, and occasionally, Maya joins in their games. As they grow, distinct personalities emerge between the two. Anna is the quieter and more composed of the pair, often staying close to Kim. Since her previous rescue, she has become quite attached to her human caretaker. The other, more mischievous one is named Tina, a local term meaning wild girl. This little troublemaker frequently sneaks onto Kim's vehicle to cause mischief, prompting Anna to intervene and stop her. Although the young cheetahs trust Kim, they become extremely cautious whenever other humans are present. Now 9 months old, the sisters are ready to assist their mother in hunting. Anna performs well, having learned to bite the neck, like Maya. Meanwhile, Tina amusingly bites the antelope's armpit, perhaps thinking she can tickle the prey into submission. After successfully capturing the antelope, Tina proudly declares that the trio makes an excellent team. Under Maya's guidance, the sisters quickly improve their hunting skills. However, in their mother's absence, the inexperienced duo becomes clumsy. Adult antelopes, with their strong hooves and sharp horns, pose a challenge, often requiring prolonged efforts from the sisters to bring down. Maya watches silently from the sidelines, allowing her daughters to learn through experience. The naive sisters believe that merely knocking down the prey signifies success, leading to situations where the prey revives and escapes. Their lack of precision results in prolonged struggles for the prey, causing unnecessary suffering. During this period, Kim observes Tina's peculiar habit of playing with dried elephant dung, kicking it around like a soccer ball, perhaps a unique form of hunting practice. Kim hopes to witness the cub's smooth transition into adulthood. However, fate seems to have other plans. Maya's family's signal disappears from the tracker, causing Kim great concern. He suspects they have encountered a threat and moved beyond the signal range. Desperately, Kim drives around, searching, running out of fuel multiple times, and having to walk several kilometers back to camp for more. A week passes without any sign of Maya's family, leading Kim to fear he may never find them again. Fortunately, park rangers soon bring good news. Maya's family never actually ventured far. Kim couldn't find the signal, likely because the tracker had malfunctioned. Upon spotting the cheetah family he hadn't seen for days, he finally felt relieved. At that moment, all he wanted was a good sleep. This time, Kim decided to put a collar on Anna, marking perhaps the first instance of a wild cheetah being collared without anesthesia. Given that a cheetah's neck is highly sensitive, it was uncertain how Anna would react. Surprisingly, the process went smoothly. Anna didn't resist at all, indicating her complete trust in her human caretaker. Meanwhile, Maya was busy marking her territory, unaware of being observed by an ever-present human. She seemed exasperated by his lack of boundaries. Time flew by, and at 18 months old, the once tiny cubs had grown into impressive young adults. The sisters were nearing maturity, their size now comparable to their mothers, signaling that their time together was limited. One day, Maya caught an antelope and, as usual, called her daughters to eat. However, they didn't respond. Worried about their safety, Maya began searching for them, with Kim following closely. They eventually found the sisters hunting an antelope together in the bush. Seizing this rare filming opportunity, Kim grabbed his camera and followed them, creating a comical scene. The sisters successfully made the kill in front of their mother, proving themselves capable hunters. Maya's efforts had paid off. Her daughters had become proficient hunters. Kim felt gratified, perhaps being the first person to witness the growth of wild cheetahs up close. However, growth often comes with separation. A few days later, Maya quietly left, having fulfilled her duty. Her daughters were now capable, and it was time for her to let go. After that, the sisters never saw their mother again, despite searching all the familiar places, perhaps fearing that their human caretaker would also disappear like their mother. The sisters stuck closely to Kim. He went from being the follower to being followed. Anna often looked at Kim affectionately, as if pleading with him to find their mother, just like when they were cubs, but Kim knew he couldn't respond. They had grown up and needed to be independent. To encourage this, Kim made the same choice as their mother. A year later, while filming African Wild Dogs, Kim encountered Anna alone. They recognized each other and exchanged affectionate greetings. Noticing that Anna was still single, Kim decided to take a beautiful photo of her for matchmaking before leaving. Although the story is ending, the sisters' journey continues. It's hoped that they will find their own paths, continue their lineage, and lead lives as remarkable yet ordinary as their mothers. Kim's photography career goes on. His family has been guardians of this forest since his grandfather's time. Now, Kim is passing his love for wildlife to his 4-year-old daughter, ensuring that this passion endures through generations. Finally, let's remember to respect the freedom of all life and say no to hunting wild animals. Let's take action together.